I don't eat a lot of sugar.
You sure?
I never add sugar to anything.
You and I try to not add sugar to anything, but it's so easy to eat too much anyway and not even know it. Many foods out there contain tons of it, even foods you'd never think need some. And if we don't look, we don't know.
So in this video, let's look and see how much sugar we're really eating and how to make sure we eat less without sacrificing much.
Diabetes sucks.
But at Simply Diabetes, we can help you manage your diabetes cheaper and easier.
We are not medical professionals. We are people with diabetes, just like you.
Welcome.
There are hidden sugars everywhere. It almost feels like we humans are on a giant planet-wide experiment to see how much sugar we can eat before we all get sick.
Isn't it a bit overly dramatic?
Not at all.
Prove it.
Okay. Let's look at what many people consume regularly and see how much sugar is hiding there. And then we'll show you how to not fall into the sugar trap.
Let's start with my favorite, Mocha. I know it has sugar, but how bad could it be? It's only a coffee.
Sure. You like Starbucks Grande Mocha with whipped cream. I grabbed these stats from the Starbucks website. If we look at these stats, the amount of total carbohydrates is 43 grams. They claim 4 grams of fiber, although looking at the ingredients, I have no idea where the fiber comes from. They list a lot of sugar. Both the syrup and the whipped cream have sugar added. Yikes! They call it a sauce and not a syrup, so you don't think about it as being so sweet.
So they're saying that one Mocha has 35 grams of sugar. That's a lot. I don't drink it like that. I asked them to use 3 pumps of the mix instead of the usual 4.
Okay, so you reduce the sugar by 25% or about 8 grams. That's a little improvement, but it still leaves about 27 grams of sugar. It's better, but not great. On top of that, these nutrition stats aren't very precise. They could be off by a lot. We have a video about counting carbs, and I added the link to it below.
I thought I was doing so well, but it turns out I was still getting a large amount of carbs.
Oh. If you want to use this mocha as a treat every now and then, that's fine. But you need to be aware of carbs and plan for them coming your way.
What next?
We looked at coffee, so let's look at tea. People like sweet tea, particularly in summer. If you make it at home, you can control the amount of sugar you are adding. 1 teaspoon has about 4 grams of carbs.
So if you stop at that, it's not too bad. But a lot of people buy commercial sweet tea, particularly if they're going out.
Right. So a medium sweet tea from Chick-fil-A contains 26 grams of carbs.
What? Yikes.
Right. I like lemon tea, but I sure don't need all that sugar. So when I order iced tea, I ask for unsweetened, 0 sugar, and I also add no sugar when I make tea at home.
But it doesn't taste very good?
Actually, it does. I like it that way.
Are soft drinks better?
Let's see. A 16-ounce can of Coca-Cola contains 52 grams of sugar. That's more than some cakes.
Holy cow. Yikes.
Yeah, really.
What next?
Let's look at ketchup.
That should be good. It's made from tomatoes, so it's like a veggie serving, right?
You might be in for a surprise. Yes, the ingredients list contains tomatoes, but it also contains a ton of sugar. I did a quick search and it came up that 1 tablespoon contains 4.5 grams. And people often use a lot more than 1 tablespoon.
I don't see sugar on the list.
No, it's cleverly hidden. Do you see high fructose corn syrup? And then regular corn syrup. These are sugars. Fructose is a simple sugar. It's chemically different from regular table sugar, and it is in fact even worse for diabetes because it raises blood sugar like mad, much faster than regular sugar does.
Ah, then high fructose corn syrup has more fructose than the regular sugar or syrup. We need to be careful of those. Why do they use both types?
You mean why add regular corn syrup when you already have high fructose corn syrup? I'm not sure. But if I had to guess, I would say it's because by law, the order of the ingredients goes by amount. The more of an ingredient there is in the food, the earlier it must be on the list. So if they used only high fructose syrup, they'd have to add more of it to get the same taste as they get now. And that would make that total amount to be more than the amount of vinegar. And the high fructose corn syrup would be bumped to the second place on the list of ingredients. More people would be alerted about how carby this ketchup really is.
Sneaky. What's next?
How about breakfast foods?
Many people know by now that boxes of cereal contain lots of carbs and tons of added sugar. But what about oatmeal? I heard it's healthy for diabetes.
Let's take a look.
I did. Our old-fashioned oats have just one ingredient, the oats, no sugar added.
That's great. It's still carby, but not horrendous. But packaged flavored oatmeal isn't like that at all. Just look at this. There's added sugar in every packet. Each time it's the second ingredient, which means that after actual oats, the biggest ingredient is sugar. As a result, most packages have 30 grams of impact carbs, totally unnecessary. If you love oatmeal, you're much better off with the regular old-fashioned kind.
So what we're seeing is that there's unnecessary sugar hidden in many foods we buy.
Exactly. We've only scratched the surface, but when you look at the list of ingredients of many foods, you'll find sugar there. It's not just in the foods that taste sweet, like flavored yogurt, but also in savory dishes like soups, bread, pasta sauce, some salad dressing, even sausage.
Who needs sugar in sausage? But I do remember not long ago we were going to buy sausage until we saw sugar in the ingredients.
Yes, I remember it too. We certainly don't need the sugar.
So what do? We need to eat something.
Yes, we do. But we can choose what we eat. We don't have to buy stuff with added sugars. We always check the labels. Unless it's a treat that's supposed to be sweet, there's no reason for added sugar. Look at the ingredients list. If sugar is listed, be very careful, particularly if it's at the beginning of the list. The earlier it appears, the more of it is in there.
Careful though. We already discovered that sugar can hide under different names.
Yes, corn syrup is one of those. They can also list it as cane syrup, agave syrup, and the like. And anything ending with OSE is suspect. Look it up if it's unfamiliar.
We have also seen earlier that companies can add different sugars, so they don't have to list sugar early on the list of ingredients.
Right. So if there are multiple sources of sugar placed later on the list of ingredients, you can bet the total amount of sugar is huge.
So, reading the ingredients is the best way to help avoid eating too much sugar.
It's one of the ways. If you want to be 100% certain what's in your food, your best bet is to cook it yourself. Buy foods that have one ingredient only, that food itself. So raw veggies, peas, beans, meat, and so on. Not prepared foods like sausage, which can hide sugar.
I've seen recipes for homemade dishes, soup in particular, that call for sugar.
Obviously, don't pick those to cook. We can do so much better. There really is no need for added sugar, unless you're making a dessert.
Do you read food labels for added sugar? Or were you surprised by some places where sugar hides? Tell us in the comments.
If you found this video useful, give us a like, subscribe to our Simply Diabetes channel, and hit the bell button to get notified when a new video is available. We have a new video every Tuesday.
And don't forget to tell your friends. Let's fight diabetes together.
See you next week. Until then, keep your blood sugar in the healthy range.
Bye.
Bye.